this is just a story, and it happens to be these two young women's story. So of course, and we see that how that ends for Tina, and it was very fatal and so very tragic. Right when she was really understanding what love really was, and it had nothing to do with the luxurious lifestyle. It had everything to do with that someone finally saw her for who she was and finally accepted her. So again, this is just one story, and it speaks to the lack of stories in this realm. You know, thank God Miasha put this story together 15 years ago. And it's so relatable today, and it's so needed, but we need more stories so we can see trans women in other lights as well. This is just one story. So I don't think that we were trying to paint this image that these women all live this life, because that's not true. It definitely is some people's story. I have friends whose stories are parallel to this one. So I will say that we've seen how it ended, and there's so many other stories as well. But the main point is that a lot of these women, this is life or death for them. And we really need to just really accept people for who they are, because any one of us can have family members who we really love and care about come out and say, hey, this is who I am, you know? And so I think until we reach a level of compassion and understanding that this can be any one of us, any one of our children, any one of our family members, we won't progress as a society in the way that we need to. So again, this is just one perspective, one story.
I can say I definitely agree with everything Erica says. Just to add a little bit on there, I believe this movie is, as she stated too, everybody isn't going to agree with their lifestyle as trans women, or even want to walk in the lane that they were walking in. Everybody's different. But when it comes to this movie and the awareness that it brings, if you are a young transgender woman and you're ready to come out and let your friends know, your family know, or even physically your parents show that, hey, I'm here, this is me. This film does bring you that awareness and shows you the things that can happen. It can prevent certain things from happening. It can open your eyes since you do walk in those shoes. The kind of things that you want to be able to express, the things that you should feel comfortable with speaking on, and then also the kind of lifestyle that you want to live and possibly where it could end or begin. So with this film, it doesn't pertain to all transgender women, but those that it does touch. Hopefully the young generation, I hope it does open that third eye for them and bring awareness, security, safety as well.
Right.
And then them just, self-love, loving on themselves first.
Right.
Thank you, ladies, for your answers.
Thank you, Queen.
I also have a question for Miasha. So during casting, you used cis women to play the roles of trans women. And I understand your reason for why, but has there been any feedback from the trans community about inclusion?
Hi, how are you? Yes, there has been a lot of feedback, and it's been twofold. So you have some from the community who felt the way that we didn't use trans women, and then once they hear why, because I think it started with like some false pretense that the men on set didn't want to be interacting with trans women, and so that kind of just made people, without knowing the real truth or without even seeing the movie, they just took that and ran with it. But once they either saw the movie or heard the real reason behind the casting decisions, then they understood where we were going with it and why we made those decisions. And then they were able to say, you know what, you guys did the right thing. Because this movie has opened up the world of the LGBTQ community to an audience of people who would never even take the time out to get to know anybody from that community, or to understand or to have compassion for what they go through. And that was the whole goal. So getting people to the TV screen, getting people in the seat to sit down and watch the movie. And then once they find out what it's about, they're stuck there. They want to know what's going on next. So they
Right.
keep watching. And then by the time the end comes, they actually feel for Celeste and Tina. And it
Right.
makes change their mind on how they may have looked at the trans community beforehand. And now I feel like that'll even open up doors for more films like this, where people,
Exactly.
you don't even need to have that buffer. People will be
Right.
like, that's it. You know, they'll
Right.
understand more connected and relating to characters like that and just have a different respect for them. So
Right.
ultimately for me, I feel like my mission was accomplished, and most people from trans community and outside just absolutely adore this movie and
Yeah.
the characters and love the way Erica and Reyna portrayed these women. And
Yeah.
trans women all over the world are like loving us, thanking
Yeah.
us, appreciating us. So I feel
Yes.
like job well done, and it's more love than it is anything else.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that response. Thank you, Erica, Reyna, and
No
Miasha.
problem. Thank you.
you.
Bye.